Hello friends, this is Durga again from ITversity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. So we are talking about PySpark. I just started yesterday as part of Spark workshop. Earlier we have seen Scala and Spark. Now we are talking about PySpark. As you guys are aware, this is the backup for my live audience who are paid students. Hence, I might not be able to take the questions. But if you want to practice by following these videos, you can do so by going to labs.itversity.com. And you can sign up using social authentication or local authentication. Here I'm demonstrating using one of my accounts, and it will look like this. And if you are not subscribed yet, it will take you to this page when you log in. And these are the plans: $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93, and $54.95 for 185 days. But even if you sign up for the lab or not, while practicing these things, even in your own environment, if you have any questions, you can log into discuss.itversity.com and can start posting questions over here as well. So that being said, let me set up the WebEx and then we'll get started. Good morning, friends. So let me just start sharing my screen and also recording. And then we'll get started. So as you guys are aware, we are in the middle of PySpark. Earlier, as part of the Spark workshop, we have covered Scala and Spark, and now we are talking about PySpark. Yesterday, we have written the Spark program, the PySpark program, which is Spark application using Python as programming language. And now let us see how we can actually run on the cluster or as a program rather than developing the code and running in command line interface or REPL. We should also know how we can actually submit it as a job. Okay, so let me log into the lab here. So the way you can log into the lab is by going to, once you log into the labs.itversity.com with a valid subscription, you can go to the lab page and you will get credentials from here. So you can use this. dgadraju is the username and host name is this one. And then we have to paste the password. If it is Windows, you have to use Shift Insert to paste the password in the console or in PuTTY or terminal or console. You should not use Control V to paste. Anyway, now we are in the lab, and let us recollect what we have done yesterday using PySpark, and then we will see. Let me see if I have. I think I don't have in this tab. I don't have in this also. If there is, it should be here. Yeah, this is the code which we have written yesterday. So I will make a small modification to this. Rather than printing, I want to save it. So saving is as similar as like in Scala. You just have to use save as text file API and give the path. Okay. So here I'm giving it as /user/dgadraju. This is my HDFS path. Okay. Right now I'm local. So to make sure it will work, we have to give the local path like this, and then revenue per day. That is the directory into which data will be saved. Okay, so we can also use local also. So the way we have developed the program yesterday is by launching PySpark after installing Spark on my local machine and setting the environment variables. We can use PySpark to launch a REPL for Spark in Python, and then we can just run this code snippet. It will copy data to that location, which is user site diversity. Okay, I just have to say. Okay, now what is the problem? Just give me a minute, okay? Okay, here, let us run till here. I think I didn't have the entire program. So orders join map dot take off 10 for each println. Sorry, this is for the in orders join map take off 10 int of I. And then just to compute revenue, what we have to do, we have to create another variable, which is nothing but orders join map dot reduce by key. Okay, we cannot use this notation, so we have to say lambda. I think I have shown yesterday, but I didn't paste it over here. So I'm just saying ag comma val and then ag plus val. We cannot use the underscore notation like in Scala. Okay, now we can actually run this to save the data to the file. So here I am actually going to that location where we have created the directory revenue per day, just to make sure we save the data in appropriate format. So here I am saying part, I am giving the file name, and you can see that tuples are written to a file. So if you want to save it in the form of delimited files, you can say map here. You might, I have explained several times in the past. Typically, they will give the output format into which you have to write. So here I am applying the same approach as we seen in as we see while developing Spark applications using Scala. We just have to say rec dot it's a tuple, so we have to use like this. Sorry, the square brackets to read elements in the tuple in Python. We have to use square brackets, and also it starts with 0. And then, yeah, thank you. Syntax is incorrect. Rec of 0 plus tab, and then plus rec of 1. Okay, now let me first delete this directory. And then run this again. Okay, here it is of type float, so we have to cast it to string. Str is the command to cast it to string. We have to have one more circle bracket here. Okay, I can actually break into multiple lines like this to make it a little bit readable. Okay, it has created the directory and it failed, so we have to delete the directory. Now it should work. Okay, now it is done. You can do ls-ltr here. Go to revenue per day, and then view part, and you can see that tab here as delimiter. Okay, so now we want to create a Python program out of it and run it as Python program itself. Instead of using REPL, we should try to create a program out of it and we should submit the program. So I will not be going through the entire life cycle as we have done with Scala, like validating the direct, locations and externalizing the parameters and all those things. If you want to build applications following all the best practices, you need to do all those things here also. You should externalize the parameters, you should externalize the arguments. I will try to externalize arguments, but I will not be externalizing the parameters. Okay, means whether to run it in local mode or yarn mode, I will not try to do that, but at least I will try to pass input path and output path as arguments. Okay, so I'm coming out of it now. First, we need to understand how to make it a appropriate program. Okay, for that, I am going to this location and creating PySpark as directory or Python Spark. Okay, and then I want to create file vi daily revenue.py. So a lot of guys make mistake of creating files with name python.py. Okay, if you give python.py, it will override your actual Python itself, and it will start complaining. So never use directory names or file names with such as PySpark or Python. Give some appropriate name with whatever task you are trying to perform as part of that program. Okay, so here I am saying daily revenue .py as the program name. Okay, and we can paste the entire program which we have developed from Sublime Text. But if you try to run directly this code, then it does not know. So the command which you typically use is spark submit. Okay, spark submit is the comes as part of the Spark installation. As we have Spark installation on my PC, I can use Spark submit to run both Scala-based applications as well as Python-based applications. The same way we have done on the cluster, we can do it here also. But when we use Spark submit is different from Spark Shell. When Spark Shell is REPL, and when you use Spark Shell to launch, it will automatically create the configuration and the context objects for you. So you don't need to worry about importing and then creating the Spark context. But when you use Spark submit, as we have seen as part of the Scala programs, we have to create both Spark configuration and Spark context, and then only we will be able to write the application. So if you are familiar with Python, right, the way you can import a sub package is something like this: from PySpark import and then the sub package. So here, as part of our program, what we have to do, we need to identify the main package, and then from that we have to import the sub packages. So the main package is from PySpark import Spark context from a Spark conf. Okay, and then you have to create configuration object. You can say conf equal to new Spark conf dot set app name daily revenue dot set master, in this case local. Okay, and then we have to create Spark context, sc equal to new Spark context conf. I think conf equal to conf. Okay, let me see. There is something. I didn't get you. What is the mistake? Okay. So let us try. If it fails, we will troubleshoot and we will try to fix it. So here you have to, I think we have to give something like this, conf equal to conf. Or we can even try like this, conf. And if it fails, then we will modify. Okay, so you can copy this entire stuff into the program. Okay, and then save. Let us delete the directory. We search rm minus rf. So I deleted the directory, and then we can run Spark submit, and let us understand the syntax. So for that, I am going to Spark programming guide again, and go to quick start, and we are talking about the Spark submit command. So we can search for Spark submit, and this is how you can actually give the location of the file name, and it will run. You don't need to compile into jar file and all. So you just have to say Spark submit, and then daily revenue dot py. Okay, and we want to run in local mode. Means by default it will run in local mode only. If you want to override, you can specify something like this. So here, okay, let us see. I think we should not use new. Yeah, I need to understand the syntax. So okay, yeah, we just have to say there is no new, because this is Python, and it's not actually object-oriented programming language. So we just have to say like this. Okay, so first must be called with Spark conf instance as first argument. What is that? Spark conf setter name must be called with. Okay, let me check my GitHub code. It's been a while since I write this, so I did not remember exactly. But I have it in my GitHub code. So Hadoop, EDW, Cloudera, Spark, PySpark. Okay, now I got it. It should be like this. Now it's a different error. Let us see where the average popping up. Okay, here I have to say like this. equal to conf. Yeah, now it is running. So now the data is copied. Let us go to the location and check whether the revenue per day is created. Yes, it is created. And you can see by default, default number of executors is always 2. I don't know why when we launched PySpark, it actually created 4. Probably it might be overriding internally, but you can see here when we run actually using Spark Submit, it has only created 2 files because number of executors is 2. And we also should validate that the entire data is copied properly, and you see it looks good. Okay, so this is how you can develop the Spark program. Now let us understand how to pass it as argument. So let me just get the code snippet from one of my other application. Just give me a moment. So first you need to import sys to accept arguments. Okay, once you import sys as argument, then you can pass the arguments and you can read the arguments like this: argv of sys.argv of 1, sys.argv of 2, etc. So we'll try to implement that as part of our program. Okay, let me see where my program is. It's here. Okay, vi daily revenue.py, and then from where I have to import sys, I might have to know the okay, we can actually get it from, we can directly say import sys. Okay, because we are trying to import main package. So I just have to say import sys. Okay, and then here I want to say sys.argv1. Okay, so sys.argv1 for the input path. So first one will give it give as input path, and second one we will give output path, which is sys.argv of 2. Okay, so this is argv of 1. Even come out of it, and then let me delete the directory. And also in this run, let us also see how to add more control arguments. The first one, I want to say master to be local, and second one, I want to say executor. Some executors have 4. Okay, and then I want to pass the arguments. So the input path is /users /itversity research data Okay, I think I need to make few more changes because I need to make few more changes. Let me do that. Okay, I'm killing this. So here I want to pass the base path only. I have to concatenate the subdirectory, which is orders, to read orders data. And then here also I have to replace. Okay, sys.argv1 plus order underscore items. Okay, so if you want to create a variable out of sys.argv, you can do that like this also. In path equal to sys.argv of 1, and then you can replace sys.argv1 with that variable name. If you want to do the validation, you need to understand the APIs. Probably might even have to use Hadoop-based APIs to use file system the way we are doing it in Scala, and you can do the additional validations, and then you can finish off the rest of the program. But in this case, I don't want to get into all those details. I just want to show how to create a Spark-based application and submit. Now I came out of it, and then let me run the Spark submit command now. Master local num executors 4. Input path is users, IT varsity, data for research, retail DB, and output path is users, IT varsity, research, revenue per day, and hit enter. Okay, so the main thing which you need to understand is the arguments has to be passed at the end after giving the control arguments. The control arguments will be passed out, and only the final 2 arguments will be taken. I think okay, there is some issue. Users, IT varsity, research, Python Spark. Okay, I think in that case, first I have to give the input argument and output. First I need to give the arguments, and then I think I have to give the control arguments. Let us try this. Yeah, now it is working. So my understanding was incorrect. With Spark, sorry, with Scala, it's different. We give jar file first, then we give control arguments. Sorry, we give class name first, then we give control arguments, then we give jar file name, and then we'll give the arguments. Whereas with Python or PySpark, you just have to say Spark submit, give the Python program name like this, and then pass all the actual arguments, and then finally you can pass the control arguments such as the master to determine whether the job should be run in local mode or YARN mode, and if you want to change the number of executors, you can change them also. Now if I have to run this program, I just have to ship it to the Hadoop cluster, and I just have to instead of local, I just have to say YARN, and it will run in YARN mode. You don't need to say YARN client, YARN, the way we have done with Scala. You just have to say -- master YARN, and it will run in YARN mode. Okay, sorry. You don't need to. Okay, let me explain once again. So if you want to run it in YARN mode, first you need to modify the code. in the code, instead of saying local here, you have to say yarn client, and then at the command line you have to say hyphen master yarn. Okay, I was incorrect. You have to do similar to the Scala. So I will leave it as an exercise to you. I will give 10 minutes time. I will share the code with you. If you have if you have data locally, test it out locally, and then ship this Python program to the cluster and figure out how to run it on the cluster, and go to the job and see how go to the job history server and see how it is running in the job history server. Okay, so the code snippet is this one, and let me add it to the gist, and I will share the link. So Python Spark daily revenue.py. Okay, let me modify it a little bit. Let me update. What is the syntax for commenting? I think this one, yeah. I have to use hash. Yeah, thank you, Hemant. So input path and output path. Input path base directory. Okay. Base directory of retail_db and output path are passed as arguments. Okay, I will give the URL in the chat, and you can use this code. Okay, try to create a file and then ship the file and then run it. So let me update this with the way the program can be run. If you want to run it in yarn mode, you have to change this local to yarn client, and also when you are running, you have to say hyphen master yarn. You cannot just run this code directly in the yarn mode because it is hard coded. The way the program should be executed is hard coded. Okay, let me paste this in this YouTube chat also. So I'll give 10 minutes time. Also, meanwhile, after this is done, I will also share the link for yesterday's question also, to do the political analysis of UP, assuming the three-way contest for 2014 general elections. I will give the solution for that as well today. So this is the link. There are multiple solutions. You can develop it in multiple ways. If you come up with a different solution than this, you can you can validate both, and you should be able to benchmark which one is performing better by looking into the stages, amount of time it is taking to execute, amount of data that is being shuffled in multiple between multiple stages. You have to focus on all those things to determine whether your solution is better or my solution is better. You can develop this in a number of ways. And it is a very good exercise to understand Scala, Spark, to differentiate between Scala-based list APIs, Spark-based RDD APIs. Um, all those things, it will give fair idea. And if you want to see the explanation for this, I have recorded that as part of yesterday afternoon session, and you can go to the discuss.itversity.com and the same exercise URL. And you can see the video which explains the solution. Okay, you can go through it. So now it's 11:07. I will wait until 11:15 and then we will take it further. We'll try to use aggregate by key and group by key also on the same data set. Yes. Yeah, sure. Okay. I understand. So if you already launched PySpark, you should not be able to import and create Spark context again. Okay, only while submitting it as a job, you have to create the Spark context, because if you run PySpark, it is already taken care implicitly. You don't need to create another Spark context. Yes, yes. When you launch REPL, yes, SC is already available. Okay, okay. And also I have given sudo access this morning, so you can try the other thing which we are discussing. Yeah, yeah. So I will be right back. So if you need more time, let me know if you want to try. Otherwise, we will start at 11:15. So main function, no, there is no concept of main function in Python. Python is a scripting language. So you don't see typical main functions and all. If you have functions, whatever the rest of the code will be considered as the main function. Even if you have main function, you have to invoke as one of the lines in the code. So is it clear, Himanshu? So any other questions? Shall we move forward, or shall I give some more time for you to run it on cluster? It's up to you. Okay. So let's move on. I didn't get any response. So next, what we'll do, we will try to use the same program, but instead of so let me take this question from Himanshu before we get to the next API, which is aggregate by key. So, do we have IntelliJ kind of IDE for Python? Yes. It's not as sophisticated as IntelliJ. Actually, IntelliJ or Eclipse, I think they also have. I'm not sure about Eclipse, but IntelliJ have Python IDE also, I guess. Ravindra is saying there's something called Canopy. PyCharm is very famous. And one of the IDEs which is being used quite more often than others these days is Python notebooks. There is something called Python notebooks, so you can use that one. So there are many, but I'm not a Python developer, and I just write Python scripts to automate certain things. So I'm not 100% sure for with all aspects of Python programming. Okay, but yes, we have other IDEs. Yeah, Jupyter Notebook, and there are many tools. Okay, and one more thing is you don't need to focus on both the programming language to begin with. You just gain expertise in one of the programming languages, but have some idea about the other. And if situation demands, you can use either of the programming language depending upon the situation. So that's why I'm covering few topics on Python also. Okay, but you should keep the best practices in mind. You have to use IDE. You have to pass certain information in the form of arguments. You have to actionalize certain parameters. You have to use code versioning tool and all those things. I think Python is a functional programming language. It's not 100% a pure functional programming language, but yeah, it is a scripting language, and you can write functional programming in Python also. I think it's somewhere between traditional object-oriented programming language and functional programming language and scripting language. Okay, nothing is purely object-oriented language or functional programming language. There will be a lot of overlapping between these, but each one is specialized in one particular thing, and then they will have other aspects of other programming languages as well. Even Java, they are trying to make it a little bit more functional programming language. You will see a lot of differences in next version of Java, which is being in the specification phase. Okay, they are inheriting a lot of stuff from Scala and trying to implement as part of Java. Anyway, so now let us see how to use aggregate by key. So here, let us define the problem statement. We are only getting revenue for each day. Instead of revenue, let us say we want both revenue as well as revenue for the order items for that day. We want both. So for that scenario, you can use reduce by key also, but if we want to implement using aggregate by key, we will see how it can be implemented. So I am creating a new variable here, order revenue and count equal to orders join dot map dot reduce, sorry, aggregate by key. And if you can you recollect how many parameters aggregate by key takes? And can you explain what is each parameter means? You can go to the documentation also and just give me the explanation. How many parameters aggregate by key takes, and also please provide the explanation of each of the argument. No, it's not 2. Priyansh is correct. It's 3, and fourth one is optional. It's about number of tasks, but three parameters is mandatory. So Ravindra is also correct. but we are primarily focusing on the 3 parameters. And what is the first parameter? And in Scala, what we have done, we have given 2 circle brackets like this. I also don't know when we have to use 2 circle brackets, when we have to use 1. I have to explore that, which I will be doing later. But just remember that when it comes to Scala, if you try to use aggregate by key, you have to give 2 circle brackets like this. So with respect to Python, there is only 1 circle bracket, and the first argument is initializer, which is a 0 value. So if you go to the documentation, they say 0 value. Okay, so let's say 0 value. And then second parameter is sequence of, which is nothing but combiner in traditional MapReduce terms. And then third one is combine op. If you go to the documentation, it will show you like this. Okay, now how can we determine the 0 value? Means how what should be the structure of that 0 value parameter? It all depends upon the output we are expecting from this aggregate by key. So the input to aggregate by key is out of join map. Okay, what is the type of out of join map? It is of type tuple. Okay, and the first element is order date, and second element is order item subtotal. Okay, and here you don't need to worry about key, because we are saying aggregate by key, so this will be hidden while doing the processing. So when we use group any by key operations, we will be primarily focusing on the elements that are part of that key. Okay, so the elements that are part of the key are nothing but values. So first we need to understand the data type of this value. It is nothing but float or double. Okay, but when it comes to output, I not only want order item subtotal or revenue for that day, revenue for the day. I also want the count for the day. Okay, so here let me use Python commenting rather than Scala commenting. So here, what is the type of this? It's a tuple. So this derives the data type of the initializer or 0 value. So here we have to give it as tuple. Okay, and the first element I want to store revenue, so I'm saying 0.0, and second element I just want to store the count, which is of type integer, so we can say 0 here. And then second parameter is a lambda function. Okay, and these lambda functions will actually take tuple as parameter. Let's take it as intermediate aggregator and intermediate value. Okay, and the third parameter is also a function, which is final aggregator or total aggregator, or we can say total, and then value. So we'll get the output of this as value, and we'll be adding to the total. Okay, now first thing what we need to understand is the data type of these variables. What is the data type of integer aggregator? Intermediate aggregator, and what is the data type of intermediate value? So I will ask you the question. Can you guys guess what is the data type of intermediate value which is being passed, which is nothing but the output of out of join map, and what is the data type of intermediate aggregator? Can you guys guess here? It is very important to understand the data type of this and data type of this, so that you can come up with the logic. So which one is the tuple? Is both are both are tuples, or aggregator is tuple, or only value is tuple? Which one is tuple? Ravindra? So param is correct. Value is of type float. So this one comes from the output of orders join map, and this is nothing but the tuple. Okay, aggregator has to be tuple because that is the final thing which we will be getting. So whatever you specified here, the aggregator will be of that type, and this one will be depending upon the type of the elements in the RDD. So intermediate value is nothing but float, and this one is tuple, and the first element of the tuple is of type float, and second element of the tuple is of type integer. So what we have to do now, we have to add this value to the first element in the tuple and add number 1 to the second element in the tuple. Okay, so the way it will look like is this. So the way we can read the tuple in Python is by using this square bracket notation, and to this we want to add intermediate value, and the output is of type tuple, so we have to put it in circular brackets, and then int aggregator or intermediate aggregator of 1 will give the second element in the tuple, and we can say +1. That will give that is the logic for combiner op, and then finally these both are tuples. Okay, so the data type of this one will be same as the data type of this. Okay, so this is also tuple, and the data type of this one is nothing but this one. So all the initializer, the aggregator, and the final aggregator will always be of same type, because this one is of type initializer. Even our value, the intermediate value which will be passed to the reducer, will also be of type tuple only. So this one, this one, this one, and this one has to be of same type always. Only this one, it is based upon orders join map in this case. Okay, or whatever RDD on which we are trying to perform the operation. The element, the data type of the element will be the data type of the element of that RDD, and this parameter will be same. Okay, so now we have to say total. We just have to add first elements between the two of the two tuples and the second elements of the two tuples to get the revenue and count. So we will say total of 0 plus value of 0, and then total of 1 plus value of 1. Okay, now let us try to run this, and then we'll wrap up. I will not be explaining, we will continue tomorrow because we are almost at the end. Okay, now I am launching PySpark. I think it's already there. So I'll be running this to see if it works or not. I will explain this one again tomorrow. Okay, so here order, revenue, and count for I in dot collect print of I. Now you can see the revenue and the count for each day. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. I will explain once again, and it is very important to understand the syntax and implementation, and you should try implementing aggregate by key. That will make that will improve your skills in dealing with collections as well as tuples. Okay, so we will stop here and we'll resume tomorrow. That being said, I will take a couple of minutes break to wrap up the session and start the hangout. and then we'll start on the second part of the workshop. Okay, I'll be on mute and I will be stopping sharing the screen, and also I will stop recording. And please remind me if I did not start recording immediately after I start the session. There is a reason why I always stop, because most of the time, if the recording goes for more than 1 hour, sometimes it will cause some issues. To avoid that, I just stop recording after 1 hour. If it is separate sessions like this. Yeah, I pasted the code. So let me mute now. And those who are on Google Hangout, thank you very much for joining the session. I'll be wrapping up. And again, if you want to practice, please use my labs.itvarsity.com. And in case if you have any questions, please start using discuss.itvarsity.com. And also you can contribute if you want to answer questions of others. That being said, I will be starting the second part of the session in a while. Thank you. Bye.